What's good, everybody? It's your brother Mad Black, the most dangerous and the most toxic black man on the internet, and I am black up in your face again with some more pro black commentary. So, obviously, I haven't been on here as much as I normally am, but I've been very busy getting things all fixed up in the house and just sort of taking some time, you know, after getting stuff fixed for the house just to kind of relax a little bit with my family, but things are starting to get back to normal, and I'm very happy about that. Things are moving in a positive direction, so I feel like I can get back to doing more regular videos now. And I figured I'd start out with this because it came as a shock to me. Like, I'm sitting at the kitchen table with my wife in the morning, we're just sitting there chit-chatting, and I get an alert on my phone saying that O.J. Simpson has passed away. Yeah, that's right. The football legend, Orenthal James, where the white women at Simpson, has passed away. And apparently he's passed away because he had a battle with cancer. And, it's been a long battle, apparently, and he's succumbed to it. So let me just say this as far as like my memories of O.J. Simpson. Okay, I was not aware of his football career. Like, I knew about it, but how I became aware of O.J. Simpson being a child from the 80s was seeing him on TV, whether it be on commercials, movies, advertisements, TV shows, and, a lot of us knew him from the Naked Gun comedy series, that movie series that used to come on. So I knew him from that. And, also he played a big part in the movie Roots. So I knew him more from the entertainment side, right? And I had seen pictures of him and his then wife, Nicole, out and about or whatever, right? And I also knew just how much people looked up to him. Like, it seemed like so many people loved O.J. Simpson, back then anyway. Like, he was America's Negro at one point in time. I know this is hard to believe post-trial, but there was a time where OJ, he was that dude. Like, people loved OJ Simpson. He was extremely popular. Like I said, all you gotta do is look back at some of those old advertisements and commercials and whatnot, and you'll see just how popular this man was. He was the it Negro for a long time. This was before a lot of black people could even get on TV. He was there. He was in the spot at those Hollywood parties and whatnot with his little super young white blonde-headed wife on his arm, his trophy for being a good Negro, basically. Right? Now, cut to I remember this day as clear as anything. Very much so. I'm in 8th grade. It's the end of the year, getting ready to go to a kind of like a little get together and party for like the whole class. Like, it was like one of our classmates, he had a house with a pool, and he was inviting everybody in the class, everybody in the 8th grade class, to come to his house for an end of the year party, 8th grade, right? Never forget it. So I'm like getting my stuff ready for that, looking forward to it. There was a girl there that I liked, I wanted to talk to, so I'm thinking stuff like that, right? Maybe I'll get a chance to ask her for a dance or whatever. One of my homies calls me on the phone, says, "Turn on the TV." I was like, "What's going on?" OJ is running for his life. Now, by then we had heard that he was being questioned or accused of, what happened to his wife, because his ex-wife, Nicole, and her friend Ron Goldman had been murdered, right? So we heard that part of it. But we're kids. We're not really paying too much attention to it because we're in middle school, right? Like I said, I was more concerned about the pool party and talking to this girl. But my friend called me on the phone, says, "Turn on the news, look what's on TV." OJ running for it in the Bronco with his homie AC, driving down the highway away from the cops. And when I tell you, when we went to that party, we were watching that. We were watching the chase. We watched the results of it. We watched when he finally pulled over and was in a standoff. We thought OJ was probably gonna like kill himself, like, with our little eighth grade minds, we're thinking like all types of ridiculous, dramatic things that we had seen on TV. We're thinking that's what's going to happen, right? But that didn't happen. So, fast forward to the trial of the century, as they called it, where OJ is on trial for murder, and all of white America has completely turned on OJ at this point. He went from being America's Negro to the lowest scum on earth, and this is why you don't trust black people all of a sudden, right? Lots of racial tension back then. Like it, to me anyway. Maybe this is just my opinion from because I was a lot younger back then. I was still in middle school. I'm thinking more is because, you know, like it felt like the racial tension back then was hotter than it is now. Like, and I think maybe it's because I'm an adult and I'm used to it and I'm used to seeing things. But back then it seemed like stuff was hot, and social media is so full of phonies and fakers nowadays. It's hard to see what's real anymore. But back then, we're talking about the beating of Rodney King, the LA riots, and now OJ. It was hot back then. So seeing that trial, everyone was glued to the TV to watching. It was like a soap opera. I remember my family, my grandma, every day they're watching on new things for the trial. They're collecting magazines that talk about the trial. I remember this. It was everyone's obsession, right? And when OJ got off, damn near all hell broke loose at my high school. Like by this time I'm in high school, right? That's how long it went. Went from middle school to when I was in high school. And, I remember getting out of class, going to my locker, getting ready to go home. And white folks were having a mental breakdown that day. You couldn't tell me that their lives weren't ruined by that verdict, by that not guilty verdict. They were hurt by that, because they were pissed. I just didn't say anything to them. I was like, whatever, I would just kind of talk with my black friends about it, but I wouldn't mention anything to white people at all about it because it was funny seeing their reaction. Like that's in my lifetime, that was the first time as a black person I got to laugh at white people's reaction to something like that, right? But because they were serious, they were mad about that, right? And like I said, moving forward, OJ, I guess, becomes this hero. Well, let me rephrase that. OJ was not a hero to black people at the time. Black people were more rooting for him to survive going through this racist ass system, because we know the fact that any black person can be accused of a crime and put on trial, and it could be completely unfair. But OJ had the money to somewhat fight against that. I mean, he in the eyes of the media and this white supremacist system, he did not have any rights at all. They pretty much found him guilty already before the trial even happened. But, going through that process, he was found not guilty. And I'm going to say this, for those people out there that might get upset, I'm just going to say it, okay? I don't believe O.J. Simpson was guilty of murdering those two people. Now, this has always been my conjecture. If those two people had been shot, if Nicole and Ron Goldman had been shot, I'd be like, okay, maybe he did do it. But you have to, be crazy to try to make me believe that this one guy, I know he's black and all, and he was a former football star, and you think black athletes are superhuman, right? But for him to run in that backyard, no one hears anything, so he basically came out there like a ninja, killed two people, two adults, neither one of them ran away, one didn't fight back good enough. It's like, okay, come on now. With a knife, he killed them both with a knife, damn near cut Nicole's head off, and then he went, somehow changed his clothes in time, didn't get blood anywhere else, just on little droplets here and there, went, got some McDonald's and got on a plane. So you want me to believe that that's the scenario that happened. I don't believe that. Once again, if they had been shot, I'm like, okay, he had time to do all that. But the way the murder happened, to me, just doesn't fit with the time. This is not even a racial thing. I'm just thinking time and an opportunity to commit this type of action, right? That's what I'm thinking. Just pure logic is saying he couldn't have done that, right? Not in that time period, no. All right. And once again, I know white folks see black athletes, they think we're superhuman. You know, we just got superpowers like that. We can kill two white people super easy. Go get some McDonald's, get on the plane, and be good to go, right? I know that, but I'm just saying what I feel about the whole situation. Let's get past that now, all right? But even after the trial, I remember, OJ, the questions of OJ coming up and just his relationship with the black community. You would think he would be like the most pro-black person ever after that, right? But no, he ran back to his white folks and his white women and everything else, right? And white women still went with him. That's the funny part. They claim he's so dangerous and so abusive. They try to make him sound like he's the most abusive, dangerous Negro on earth. White women still love that man. And, getting even till they put him on trial again for stealing some stuff. They made sure they gave him some jail time. That was revenge for him getting that not guilty verdict. He gets out of jail on good behavior and is basically trolling people on social media. That was the funny part about OJ. And while I don't like him personally, I did follow him on social media because I enjoyed him trolling white people. I'm being honest about it. That was funny to me. He was very entertaining in that regard. Kind of like Donald Trump. I don't like Donald Trump either, but Donald Trump was very entertaining when he was the president, when he was trolling people on social media. So yes, I did follow it for my daily entertainment. I did the same thing with O.J. Simpson. I don't like him, but it was funny to see him fuck with white people every once in a while and troll them about, the whole murder thing. Because I could tell he understands the ridiculousness of it all, right? And at some point, that's all you really can do is laugh at it because it's so over the top. To have any other emotion about it would be too painful, right? So, now it seems that OJ has passed away. And it's a sad thing, I guess, on a personal level for his actual family, and this is why I had this picture here. You saw it on a thumbnail. I wanted to showcase the picture of him and his first family, with the black woman and his black children. I think it's very important to see that there was a time when OJ did love being black before he got all consumed with the nonsense of Hollywood. But overall, in my opinion, the lesson of the life of O.J. Simpson, I think, should be a learning lesson. I was going to say originally when I started this video that it's a learning lesson for black men, but really it's a learning lesson for black people as a whole, black women as well, for those who want to be socially accepted by white people. It's a very good lesson for you to learn and understand that you're only in their good graces for a finite amount of time. You're only in their good graces depending on how they feel about you at a certain time, okay? Don't get it confused and think that you're always going to have their favor or that you're always going to be their number one Negro. Doesn't matter how much you kowtow, does not matter how much you bootlick, doesn't matter how much you butt kiss, doesn't matter how many white women you have on your arm, doesn't matter. Once they decided they're through with you, they are through with you. And O.J. Simpson is a great lesson in that regard. Black people should be very aware after seeing what happened to him that you have to be very careful about that. Bill Cosby is another one. Bill Cosby is another one that was America's Negro for decades, even longer than OJ, right? And you see how they threw him away once they were tired of him, right? When they said he did something wrong, right? Now he can do all types of stupid stuff and say all types of dumb stuff about black folks. Same thing with OJ. But when they decide that they're done with you and you offended their sensibilities, then they kick you to the curb, right? Michael Jackson's another one. He was kicked to the curb by white society, right? So be careful, all right? And I understand that O.J. Simpson is like the patron saint of the Negro who is socially acceptable to white folks and gets the white trophy wife and everything else. But black men as a whole need to be careful when you think like that. All right, you think you're all going to just get into Hollywood or get into some social standing, and you're going to be able to get yourself a young, uh, what they tell you is beautiful, blonde hair, blue eyed wife or whatever. Right? I know, like I said, she was his trophy for being a good Negro. He left his black wife behind for that, and she got his ass damn near locked in jail forever over that nonsense. Right? So just be aware of what your what can happen to you when you basically make deals with the devil. When you start saying that nonsense like OJ used to say, I'm not black, I'm OJ, and you're gonna run over there and hang out with those white women, when you start making those types of deals with the devil and saying that I'm not part of these people, I'm just me, be prepared for all that comes with it. The trial comes with it. The accusations come with it. The jail time comes with that. Puffy's finding that out right now because he was the numero uno Negro for a while as well in the music industry, right? So all of that, they raising you up and raising you up higher and higher. Just realize the higher up you go, the further you have to drop. Okay, so if they're picking you up and raising you up high, that's the distance you're going to be dropped down from. Okay, so that's all I want to say. You folks, let me know how you feel about it in the comments section. Let me know how you feel about the whole OJ situation, how you feel about him personally, if you want to let me know. Personally, like I said, I never liked the man. I always thought he was kind of dumb. That's how he always kind of came off to me. I know he was a lot smarter than he portrayed, but he always came off to me as, kind of a simpleton, right? And I know that, a lot of Negroes who are a little bit older than me, a lot of black guys who are older than me from the generation before me, they saw him as a sports icon. I get that. I get that. But, me growing up, Michael Jordan was a sports icon too. But I know personally that Michael Jordan is an asshole, so I have no respect for him. I can respect his athletic accomplishments, but that's it. He's a dickhead, so I don't have too much respect for him in that regard. So, take what you will from that. Anyway, folks, this is Mad Black, and I will be back with my foot on the devil's back.